Okay, I think it's 2 minutes past 5 p.m. Central European Time. I think we can start slowly but surely. Today we have a very interesting topic, 10 mistakes that beginners make in SolidWorks and how to avoid them. So I would like to start with small set of rules to turn off your camera and turn off your sound. If you're not the speaker, we will have some question answer session at the end of the webinar, and you will get the chance, let's say, to raise a question. You can write a question in the chat. We have a chat function during the webinar. And we have also prepared a small survey in the chat just to shape the webinar into one or another direction to get a little bit of better feeling about the attendees, about their expertises, and so on. So first, I would like to start with a small introduction or a couple of words about WiredWhite. So this is the name of our company, of our platform. What we do as WiredWhite, we envision our network as a platform that guides individuals throughout the process of becoming an engineer. So we see in that manner that our role as enabler. We bring customers and partners together on our platform, and we believe we are providing the necessary tools to achieve a solid, strong cooperation between them. And why we do it? Sort of our mission is we try to contribute and accelerate and optimize the diffusion of electrification worldwide, because we believe that is possible absolutely through the enablement of the global cooperation between students and experienced engineers, and we are sort of in that manner sharing the knowledge. So this became our vision to come up with the platform to proceed with that and to support young engineers. And today's speaker is Alan Oletik. I would like to introduce him to our attendees today. So Alan is a SolidWorks certified professional with a master's degree in mechanical engineering. He has over 4 years of hands-on machine design experience, and he is teaching, obviously, and he's passionate about that. So Alan has built and sold already more than 13 online engineering courses to his global audience, which is more than 48,000 students currently. And he has an average earned impressive 4.5 stars as a rating on his courses. His journey with SolidWorks started in high school, and he continued through the university and later on through his career designing and educating, driven by his mission to make learning easier, structured, and result-oriented. Alan now shares his experience to help engineers to master SolidWorks with his confidence, his experience, and knowledge. So yeah, I'm happy that Alan, you would be a speaker today, and welcome, and the ball is yours now, so you can jump into the SolidWorks world software. Please.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. My name is Alan, and yeah, today I want to share with you 10 mistakes that beginners make in SolidWorks. So this is going to be just practical. So I'm going to share my screen. 1 second. Let me see entire screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, super. So yeah, I'm gonna share with you 10 mistakes that beginners make. So this is more for the beginners. I'm gonna also maybe show you a few tricks at the end, maybe if you're intermediate. Maybe it's gonna be interesting to you as well. I'm gonna start with the sketching things. because I think this is very foundational, and I know that a lot of beginners like just skip these steps, not paying attention to the sketches, but then later, when they actually create 3D models, they have problems. When they have to redesign something or change some dimensions, then model starts breaking. So the first mistake that beginners do is when putting dimensions, they overuse dimensions instead of relations, right? So when you create a sketch, right, you have to define dimensions. And what a lot of beginners do, they just start putting all the dimensions right here. Like this is not just a simple example. Then they put here, and okay, I already put it here. Let me just delete this. This was from before. Like this one, or for example, they're gonna put an angle here and here, but these two lines are parallel, right? So this is not very efficient. Or they're gonna put the height from this line to this point, but then also from this line to this point, although these 2 points are in the same horizontal line, right? And such a thing. So when you actually want to fully define sketch, first you want to put relations, right? For example, if I know that this line here and this line here, they will be equal, I don't have to put 2 dimensions, right? I can just click on this line, hold Control, click on this line, and here I have different relations like horizontal, vertical, collinear, parallel, perpendicular, equal, and so on. So I can just choose here equal and click OK. And now I have this sign, as you can see here, equal, right? And now what I can do, I don't have to put 2 dimensions. I can just put 1 dimension, like this, right? And now if I change this dimension to 50, automatically the other one will change as well, right? So this is just not very simple. Now this is a little bit more, not say complicated, but we have more lines here. As I said, for example, if we have, okay, I got off the sketch. For example, if I have these 2 lines parallel, first, what I want to do, I want to define relations, right? So I'm going to go here with parallel, like this. And also I have a sign here, this is parallel. Or this point and this point here are on the same horizontal line. So I'm going to click this point, having this point horizontal, right? Or, for example, this one here and this one here, they must be perpendicular, like this, right? This is just an example. Let me just drag this down, like this. And then, for example, this one here and this one here, they must be equal. So first thing that I want to do, as you see now, I just want to define all the relations. Because then if I'm going to change something later in the model, these relations will stay the same. This is the whole point, right? And now I can start with dimensions. Now I can put dimensions on this line, right? I can put an angle here, like this. And now if I have an angle here, I don't have to define angle on this one here, right? Because I change angle here, automatically this one will change because they are both parallel. Or if I define now this height as well, I don't have to define this one here, right? If I define length of this line, I don't have to define the length of this line, right? And now I have less dimensions. So let me just put it here. I have to define this angle. Let me see what I need more. This one here.
A quick question, Alan.
Yep.
We have Patrick asking regarding the software, whether this is the latest one from SolidWorks or which version particularly are you using?
This is 2025.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is the latest one. I think that 2026 is still not here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, once you have like these relations, I don't know, maybe I can define even more relations. If I have, I don't know, for example, let me see if I can do this now. If I didn't put too many, I can also say this is horizontal as well. No, this doesn't work because we have overdefined sketch now. But that's something that you do at the very beginning. You put all the relations, and now you can put all of the dimensions that you need here, right? So let me see what is actually left here. Maybe this angle, I'm not sure. No, it's not. Although this is not needed. This one is also not. I can just go now fully defined sketch, and they're all the sketch like this. Just another waste of time to find which one I have to put. So basically, yeah, this way, so we don't need this, and we don't need this dimension, right? So basically, yeah, this way, as you can see, I just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dimensions instead of maybe having 12, right? That's the whole point. Oh yeah, I didn't put this one. It was not the origin, which is another mistake that I'm gonna cover. So basically, the lesson here is first define relations that you have between all sketch entities, and then define dimensions, okay? So that's the mistake number 1. I'm gonna exit this. Let's go to the mistake number 2. And this is ignoring coordinate system, and this is actually what I didn't pay attention now when I was actually showing you, right? Not only by ignoring coordinate system here, but also knowing where you have to put your coordinate system, right? Now, as you saw before, if I fully define this sketch, if I put all of the dimensions here, if I try to fully define sketch, this one here, this sketch is still not fully defined, right? Because it's not connected to the coordinate system here. So you want to connect this to the coordinate system on one way or another. No, the question is where you're going to put your coordinate system, right? You want to put a coordinate system at a point that's going to be the referent point, right? So that means this point will be always there, and then all other sketch entities will change according, relative to this point, right? For example, this one right here is in this vertex, the coordinate system, but for this one I have to define dimension here, right? I have to go here, and I have to define this dimension as well, right? Now this sketch is fully defined. So it's not about only to put a coordinate system, but also make sure that you know where to put a coordinate system based on what dimensions will change later, right? You want to have a reference point. And that also depends on the manufacturing process, right? How this part will manufacture later, right? So this is designing with intent, just compared to designing without intent, where you just put a coordinate system wherever you want. So this is also a mistake that a lot of students, beginners, are missing. They don't pay attention to the coordinate system, right? So yeah, pay attention to coordinate system and pay attention to where you put your coordinate system as well. So this is the mistake number 2. So we started with these beginner mistakes. Then we have number 3, which is also related to sketches. And this is not fully defining your sketch, right? Now in SolidWorks, probably if you work, you know that in SolidWorks you can have 3 possible outcomes when it comes to defining sketches. You can have underdefined sketch, as you can see now here, down below, you have underdefined, you have fully defined sketch, and you have overdefined sketch. So when you have underdefined sketch, then you're gonna have lines blue, right? This line here, as you can see, it's black because it's connected, is coincident, as you can see, with coordinate system. But still, I can control the length here, right? As you can see. It's not, this point here is blue. This point is blue, although the line is black. So it's not fully defined. So for example, if I want to fully define the sketch, as I mentioned in the first mistake, I first want to make sure that I add all the relations that I want. So let me just put a relations. I'm going to put a horizontal here. That's okay. Then what I'm going to put here, okay, let me see what else I can do. Let me see if this is fixed. Okay, as you can see, I can move this. So what I want to do now, I want to make sure that this point and this point here are vertical, like this, right? They're on the vertical line. So I can move now, right? One relative to another. So I have this, and now pretty much I put all of the relations, and now I want to put dimensions, right? I'm gonna just go with the random dimensions here. So I'm gonna go with the angle. Just want to show you one thing. Okay, we have this. Okay, oh yeah, we defined that already. We don't need this one. And we defined this one. Let me see what we got left. Oh yeah, we got left this one. Yeah, this is it. So now, as you can see, our sketch is blue, is black, right? So that means it's fully defined. As you can see here, fully defined sketch. And this is what you always want to do with a sketch, right? You want to make sure it's fully defined, because if it's not fully defined sketch, later when you start using this sketch to create 3D models, your sketch can break, especially when you have to edit something down the line. But now, for example, you can put this dimension here, right? And now what's going to happen? You're going to have this warning. That means adding this dimension would make the sketch over-defined or unable to solve. And now SolidWorks give you two options. You can make this dimension driven, or you can leave this dimension driving, right? So, for example, if I make this dimension driven, what's going to happen? Sketch is still fully defined, but this dimension here is gray. It's not black. That means it doesn't affect this sketch, but we have it here just for ourselves, so that we know what is the dimension of this line. But now, for example, if I take this line again, and I choose leave this dimension driving, that means this dimension will be the main one. Now, our sketch is yellow. So it's over-defined. So we have a mistake, right? We over-define our sketch. So if you add another dimensions once you have fully defined sketch, make sure that these dimensions is driven, right? Let's say supporting dimension. It's not the main one, right? So yeah, this is all when it comes to the fully defining the sketch. Want to make sure it's fully defined, because I know for myself, when I started, like learn SolidWorks, I would just make sketch, and a lot of lines would be blue, and I would just start creating 3D models. But then later, when you change something, like you change some feature in 3D design, then your sketch starts breaking, right? So yeah, this is the mistake number 3. Let's exit this. Then let's go to a little bit, I'm not saying advanced things for the beginners, let's say. And this is not using reference geometry. So what is the reference geometry? So we have a 3D model, and what a lot of beginners do is, now if they want to create some sketch on this 3D model, right? They want to create something else on this 3D model, they're going to start creating sketches on these faces, right? And then they just go face after face, and this model becomes very complicated, and they use features that they don't have to use, right? Too many of them. What you can do, you can use reference geometry, right? You can use plane, axis, and point. So let me show you. For example, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna choose a point, and now there are many options how you can, insert this point, but for example, I'm gonna insert this point on this edge, right? It's gonna be the distance 10 millimeters, and okay. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go with an axis, and I'm gonna choose here 2 points, right? The axis will go through 2 points or vertices. So I'm gonna choose this one here and this point here, like this. Let's click OK. And now I'm gonna create a new plane. And I'm gonna use this axis, right? I want that my plane goes through this axis, like this. And I'm gonna put this under angle, 60 degrees. Let's click OK. Now, why would I create this? Now, for example, if I want to create a sketch, I'm going to show you now for one example. I can create a sketch here. I'm going to go with some circle, like this. Let's click OK. I'm going to just go here, fully defined sketch, because the dimensions are not important now. Like this. And now I'm going to go to the features, extrude boss base. And I'm going to go up to the surface. Okay, and I'm going to choose this surface, and I'm going to click OK. Now, if I wouldn't create this plane, just without this plane, creating this feature on this 3D model would be very difficult, right? If you were only creating this feature by using this face, by creating sketch in this face. But when you know how to use these reference geometry tools, plane, axis, and point, and then you can much easier create features, and you can save a lot of time and by saving a lot of features, right? I don't have to use a lot of features to create this one. But if I would want to create this feature by creating a sketch on this face, that would take more features to make this happen, right? So yeah, you want to start using reference geometry, and a lot of beginners, and I also speak for myself, when I started, I didn't use this reference geometry. I was just creating sketches on these faces. So yeah, this is mistake number 4. Then we have mistake number 5. This is also very interesting, and this also a lot of people don't use. And maybe, okay, maybe for the beginners, this is not so much important, but like it's very useful because, and this is using sketch by multiple features, right? So instead of for each feature creating new sketch, you can create one sketch, and then you can use this sketch by multiple features. So let me show you. So we have one sketch, as you can see, right? And I can go to the extrude boss base. Okay, I'm gonna select this sketch. And now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go here to the sketch contours. I'm gonna clear this, and I can choose now here which contour I want to extrude. And I'm gonna extrude this one. I'm gonna choose here blind. Let's go with 50, like this. Let's click OK. And now as you can see, we have one feature and we have one sketch. But now if I want to extrude another contour, I don't have to create another sketch. I can just use this sketch. So I can click on this sketch, and I can again go to the extruded boss base. Like this, right? And now I can go here to selected contours again, and I can say, okay, let me now extrude this one here, and let's go here with 100. And I want to create some angle, let's say 3 degrees, like this. Let's click OK. Now we have 2 different features by using the same sketch. As you can see, sketch 1, sketch 1. I can go further. I can again use this sketch. And now I can create a third feature that's going to be completely different. So I can go here to the selected contours again. I can, for example, go with this one. Okay, let me select. This one, I can go to opposite direction. For example, like this. I can click OK, right? And now we have 3 features created by the same sketch. And I can go now even the 4th one, right? Click Sketch, Extrude Boss Base. Select Contours. This one here. And I can also go to direction 2. Like this, I can click OK. Right? So now I have 4 different features, as you can see, but I use the same sketch. Right? Instead of creating new sketch for each feature. So yeah, when you see opportunity that you can use the same sketch by multiple features, then choose that and try to do this way, right? Because this way you're gonna save, like it's gonna be much simpler. You're gonna save more time for yourself, and you're gonna save also more memory, and everything here, if you have to change something, will be much, much simpler for you. So yeah, this is mistake number 5, not using sketch by multiple features. Let's go to the number 6. Okay, this is also, let's say, a little bit for the beginners, and this is ignoring material and mass properties. And when I think about a mass properties, I mean on the coordinate system, I mean on the unit system. There's actually one situation that European engineers work with American engineers, and they're using different unit system. And one worked with inches, other works with millimeters, and didn't pay attention to that, and there was complete mistake in the product because they didn't agree on the unit system. So when you actually create something, you want to define them, like the first thing you want to define your unit system, right? You just come here and then you choose whether you're going to work with inches, whether you're going to work with millimeters, and so on, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing, you want to define your material. So you come here, edit material, and then you can here just pick the material that you want. For example, alloy steel, apply, and that's it, right? Now the model changed the color, and we see here we have alloy steel. And then also, what you want to do, for example, if you have to calculate the center of the mass. Now, for example, I can go here, and I can create a new coordinate system. And you can put this coordinate system wherever you want, right? Depends what you have to calculate. If I have to calculate center of the mass relative to this coordinate system, this point, I can just put it here and click OK. And now if I go here to the mass properties, I have here mass, right? And this mass would be different if I didn't apply material. Especially this is important. I'm showing this because maybe you think, okay, why is this important? But this is also important if you want to take SolidWorks certification exams, CSWA and CSWP. In each task, you're going to have to calculate mass or center of the mass. And you're going to have to change materials. You're going to have to change the coordinate systems. And if you forget to change the material, the mass will be incorrect, right? Also, as you can see here, center of the mass. But this center of the mass is not relative to this coordinate system, right? It's relative to this origin coordinate system. If you want calculate center of the mass relative to this coordinate system, we have to go here and we have to choose coordinate system 1. And now we have different results. So this is especially important if you really want to pass SolidWorks certification exams. You have to really pay attention also to this, to the mass, coordinate system, and center of the mass. So yeah, this is the mistake number 6. Let's go on. And yeah, now we have mistake number 7, which is not using patterns and mirrors. So patterns and mirrors, this is something that you can use where you have the same instances, right, on same instances, and you don't want to waste time creating the same instance over and over again, or the same feature, right? Then you can use mirror, right? You can use mirror in the sketching and patterns. You can use mirror and patterns also with features. So if you go here, you have linear sketch pattern and you have circular sketch pattern. So you have linear, right? You choose the axis, then you choose the entities like this. You choose number of entities that you want here. Let's go with 2. And then also you choose here the distance between 2 entities. For example, 50. Let's click OK. And now we have another instance of this, right? 2, as you can see, 2 of them. We can change this to 3, 4, 5. Now, before you continue, you want to make sure this is fully defined, right? So, as you can see, I can move this, right? So what I want to do, I want to put here smart dimension. So I defined this 50 before. Let's go like this. So now what we have, now we have fully defined sketch, 2 instances. The same thing if you want to use circular sketch pattern, right? You have to define the axis of rotation. You want to define entities to pattern. This one, like this. And now instances, let's go with 6. Let's click OK, right? So we have the same instances on some distance. We can use this sketch, we can use this linear or circular sketch pattern. And now, for example, we can also go to the features. We can extrude this. Let's just go like this. And also you can mirror this, right? And you can also create a circular, as you can see here, linear and circular sketch pattern here. But what we're going to do here, we're going to mirror this. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new plane. So let's go like this, 150, that's okay. And yeah, I'm going to go here to the features, and I'm going to go with a mirror. I'm going to choose this plane. And then also here, it's very important, you have 3 options here. You can choose features to mirror, faces to mirror, bodies to mirror, right? Now, what is this? These are bodies. How do I know this? Because they are not connected. And here I see solid bodies. I have 12 bodies, right? Because if I choose here features to mirror, it will not work, right? So what you want to do, you want to go here to the bodies, and then you want to select these 12 if you want to mirror them. And click OK. Right? So yeah, this is also another one, like another tool that can save you a lot of time, right? And also a lot of beginners don't use these things, which I understand maybe it's a little bit more advanced when you start learning SolidWorks. But it's very simple in general. And yeah, it can save you a lot of time. It can save you also a lot of memory here. And it's easier than to edit if you have to if you have to edit something later. So yeah, that's mistake not using the patterns. Mistake number 8, not using equations. So let me show you, maybe this is a little bit more advanced, but also these equations, if you're gonna go to the SolidWorks certification exams, you have to know how to use equations. So let me just give you a simple example. So let's say that this line here has to need some relation relative to this line here. And this relation is not some simple relation like, you know, it's twice of the length of this line or something like this. It's a little more complicated. So what is the great about SolidWorks is you see here, you can define equations, right? If you go to the tools, you have here equations. So you can define global variables, and then you can also define equations. So for example, I can say that my global variable will be 100 millimeters. Then I can say I will have a global variable B that will be A divided by 2 plus 5, right? This is my equation now. So the variable b will be a divided by 2 plus 5. And that relation will always be like this unless you change that. And then I'm going to have the c global variable, which is going to be a plus, for example, b, right? I can use two global variables, and now divided by 2. And now I have 3 global variables, and I have also 2 equations. I can click OK now. And now, for example, if I want to add dimensions here, and I want specific relations between these 2 dimensions, I can go here to the Smart Dimensions. I can select this line. And instead of me just putting here some number, right, I can go here with equal, and then here we have global variables. And now I can choose here global variable that I want, right? Let's go with A, like this. And as you can see here, we have a sign. This is global variable, right? Also, I can go here, and I can put a global variable on this one. So I'm going to go equal, also choose global variable. I'm going to go with B. Let's click OK, right? And now, for example, if I change one global variable, this one will change as well automatically, right? For example, if I go, let me just show you one thing. So now here, as you can see, we have 3 global variables, right? You can see them here. So we can go here now, manage equations. And I can say, okay, I want that now A will be 50, right? And now you can see how this changed, right? This one is just smaller. And now also what I can do, I can go to the features. I can extrude this. And also I can use here, instead of just random number, I can put also here a global variable. Equals global variable, I'm going to go with C. Like this. Let's click OK. And now if I want to change this, I can just go here to the equations, manage equations, and I can change also equations here, or I can just change this number and the relations will stay the same, right? So this is very useful when you know that you have specific relations between sketch entities, right? Different lines, circles, and so on, or even features, right? As you can see, extrude here, right? The depth of the extrusion. When they have a specific relation, and it's not simple relation like, 2 times longer, something like this, you can make any equation you want. Then you want to use these equations, because then if you have to change one thing, the relations will stay the same. So yeah, basically these can also save you a lot of time, and a lot of beginners don't use this, maybe because it's too advanced, but it's not, it's not very complicated. You just have to start working with this. And all of the equations that you have, you can just see it here. Very simple. So yeah, this is the mistake number 8, not using equations. Mistake number 9. Now this one is more maybe advanced, and this is not a mistake. Let's say this is one good tip or trick, and this is not a specific tool even, right? Now, for example, we have this, let's say these 5 solid bodies. And now, for example, let's create a sketch here. I'm gonna just put a circle. And now what I want to use this sketch to create a hole on this model, on this body, and on this one, and this one here. So what most of the beginners would do, they would start creating a sketch here, here, and here, right? So they would create 3 sketches, and they would use 3 extrusions. Now you can do this by using one extrusion and one sketch. And this is not a specific tool. This is one feature in the tool. So for example, I can go here to the features, extrude cut. And as you can see, if I just leave through all, we're gonna have hole through all, right? I can just click OK, and now hole is going through all, but I don't want that. I just want the hole on this one, and this one without creating additional sketches. So let me show you. Just go here to the extruded cut, and here we have selected bodies, and this is called feature scope, right? So this is just an option under the tool. So I can clear this, and I can say, okay, create this hole only on this one, and this one. Let's click OK, right? And now, as you can see, we have hole only on these three, not on this one or this one. If you want to change, you can just go here again. You can clear this, and you can choose, okay, I'm going to choose this one, and this one. Let's click OK, right? So yeah, and we just used one sketch and one extrude, right? And this saves you also a lot of time. It makes everything simple. Your work here, feature manager design tree, is much simpler because you don't have a lot of features, sketches. And yeah, this is something that most other people don't use, but it's very, very useful. And a lot of people don't know about this because it's not a tool, right? It's just option under the feature. So yeah, this is mistake number 9. And I'm going to show you the last mistake, and this is related to the assembly. This is going to be mistake number 10, which is not knowing how to properly insert parts into assembly. Now, there are 2 ways, actually there are 3 ways how you can do it. I'm going to show you 2 ways how to actually insert part in the assembly in the right way. Now, what a lot of beginners do when they create an assembly, they just take a part and they just throw it in, right? So the first thing that you want to do, or you go here to the insert, of course, and okay, let's open this. They take the part, and what happens, they just put a part here on the random place, right? They just click this. Now the problem with this is you don't know where your part is, right? You don't know where in this space your part actually it is. And if you try to move this part, you can't. And you can't because if you go here to the feature manager design tree, you can see this letter F. This means this is fixed. That's why you can't move. Now, we can go here, right click, and we can make it float, right? Now, as you can see, we don't have an F. Now we can move this part. So we want to position this part right in the coordinate system. So we can actually define where in the space this part it is. So the first thing that you want to do, you want to view your coordinate system, right? So that's just the first thing. Let me just see where it is. Why do I don't see it? Actually, the wrong way. You want to view your origin, not coordinate system. And know, once you have here origin, this is the origin of the assembly. And this here is the origin of the part 1. You want to make sure they're in the same point, right? They're coincident. So just go here to the mate. Select this point and this point here, and automatically part will come right to the coordinate system, right? So this is one way, and this just takes more time, right? So this is not the most efficient way. The most efficient way is like this. So let me show you. I'm gonna delete this. Okay, so the first thing, once you open the assembly, what you wanna do is, you wanna go here, and you wanna go here to the view origin. Like this. So we see our origin of the assembly. Then you want to go to the insert components. Okay, take the part 1. And now, if I go with my mouse over the origin, automatically the part 1 will jump right into the origin, right? As you can see, boom, right into origin. I just leave it here, and that's it, right? Like this is the fastest way how to insert your first part. And now if you want to insert the second one, just go here, part 2. This is the second part, right? And now you define the relation between part 1 and part 2. Now I can go here to the mates. I will go here to the advanced mates. I'm going to use Profile Center. This is also one advanced tools. This can save you a lot of time. Profile Center is going to put right in the center of this. Like this, right? Now we have this right in the center. We can only rotate this. And also we can insert the part 3. And as you can see, this now goes very, very quickly, right? This one here, we can go to the mates. And we can put this one right here. Like this. And also we can define the distance, for example, between this one and this one, and let's say that the distance will be 100, right? And let's click OK. And now we can just move like this, and we can rotate this, but also we can fix this if you want. So basically, yeah, this is the fastest way how you can insert your part in the assembly without using any mates. So yeah, this is it. These are the, let's say, 5 mistakes or 10 mistakes, not 5 mistakes, 10 mistakes or 10 efficient ways how you can design in SolidWorks faster and more efficient. So when later you have to edit something, it's going to be easier for you, and the model and sketches won't break. So yeah, this is it.
Perfect.
From my side.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Alan. Was very, very insightful webinar, and these 10 mistakes that you have shared, and especially the solutions to that and how to avoid them. I'm just gonna jump into the chat and see if you have some questions now. I see one question regarding, I think it was mistake number 8 regarding the equations. We have Michael asking about exponential or hyperbolic functions, if it is possible to program using equations functions in SolidWorks. So it's like, I suppose, a bit mathematically more complex equations.
Yeah, you can use, let me see what you say, exponential equations you can use, but also depends on which version of the SolidWorks you have, right? Because not all functions are available in the student version and in the full software.
Mm-hmm. But basically, it is, let's say, technically possible using SolidWorks to implement complex equations as well.
Yeah, you can go more complex than what I showed. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I just chose as an example for the beginners. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Perfect. So yeah, colleagues, dear attendees, if you have any questions, you can write them in the chat, or you can raise your hand. Let's say we have also this feature in the chat here, to raise a hand and to raise a question in a real time. I'll just give the opportunity, maybe wait like another 10 seconds until we go to the next one. I see another one just arrived. Can you see it, Alan? So it's regarding all the mistakes for beginners, which one do you think slows the progress the most, the progress?
Well, I would say the most common is not fully defining sketches, because I think this is the base. If you really fully define sketches in the right way, you put a coordinate system in the right place, that just make later everything simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to save a lot of time. You don't have to put down a lot of dimensions. So the goal is the quick fix is just to fully define first add relations and then just add additional dimensions. And then later, once you use the sketch to build 3D models, then everything goes much smoother.
Yeah, kind of makes sense to me. Starting with the basics, let's say.
Yeah,
If the basic is set up, then all the other things go quicker and smoother. Yeah. Okay, guys, ladies, gentlemen, do we have some more questions to Alan? Otherwise, I'm jumping into the slides again. And by the way, you will get the slides after the webinar. We will distribute them, we will send them around, so you will have the recording and the slides afterwards. So yeah, I'll just take the opportunity and explain you a little bit how you can proceed from that webinar. So we have a platform. On our platform, we have a certain set of online courses for mechanical engineers, for mechanical design. As you can see, we have also a course created by Alan. So you could check those courses. You can purchase a course from Alan to learn how to become a certified SolidWorks associate, to get a better, deeper understanding about the SolidWorks, about how to use it, and how become professional in that with that tool. And for all the attendees, we are providing the discount code for every purchase on the platform. You can use the discount code WiredWhite 10, and you will get 10% off for every purchase on the platform. You can also schedule online tutoring with Alan as well, or with any other CAD professional on our platform. If it's a SolidWorks or if it's some different CAD tool, you can always find some, let's say, experienced engineer who can support you with your project, with your task directly. And by that, I would like to thank you all attendees for attending the webinar, for having a time to join. Special thanks to Alan for giving the speech today. It was very interesting and very well put together, a very brief and insightful overview based on Alan's experience, like a summary of 10 most used and most common mistakes. I think it was a brilliant idea for the webinar. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. And any final words from your side, Alan?
Yeah, thank you for having me on this webinar. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can reach out through the platform, WiredWhite, and yeah, if you have any additional questions, you can just ask there.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Alan, again, and thanks a lot, dear attendees, ladies, gentlemen, colleagues, and I hope you enjoyed that, and we will see you in the next one. Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.